On Wednesday, Brian Williams apologized for misremembering what happened to him in Iraq. By Thursday, the internet was abuzz with allegations of another embellishment from the NBC anchor, and this time it was about Hurricane Katrina. Right now, there is no clear proof that Williams exaggerated or lied about his experiences there, but NBC is reviewing his accounts. Williams once said that he watched a man commit suicide at the Superdome, and he also said this.
When you look out of your hotel room window in the French Quarter and watch a man float by face down, when you see bodies that you last saw in Banda Aceh, Indonesia, and swore to yourself that you would never see in your country.
I accidentally ingested some of the floodwater. I became very sick with dysentery. Our hotel was overrun with gangs. I was rescued in the stairwell of a 5-star hotel in New Orleans.
Hurricane Katrina was an American horror story, but is it possible that Williams actually saw a body floating there? Nobody knows Katrina better than my next guest. He's Lieutenant General Russell Honoré, who led Task Force Katrina. Thank you for joining me this morning.
Good morning.
The account that Brian Williams describes, he's describing the Ritz-Carlton Hotel. That's on the edge of the French Quarter, right? Is it possible that there was enough water in that part of New Orleans that a body could have floated by?
It'd be very suspect, but anything's possible, Brian. There are many stories from Katrina, and everybody have their story from where they stood. But more than likely, that happened on Tuesday, from looking at date times and when he filed that report. And for a brief moment, there might have been some water that could have possibly gotten that high around the Ritz-Carlton. But by and large, that water there was well below knee level around the Ritz-Carlton.
Did you yourself ever come across bodies in that part of the city?
There was a body at the Superdome. I was in Biloxi on Tuesday and in New Orleans at 9:47 on Wednesday morning of Katrina week. And there was a body on Wednesday, just as you come off the ramp at the Superdome. And I stayed there at the Superdome for about 5 days, about 18 hours a day. But that's the only body I saw in that particular area of New Orleans. And we had that body immediately removed.
I don't want to dance around this. Do you think that he has overstated his role in his experiences in New Orleans?
I think the thing that gives his story suspect is he violated one of the rules of old soldiers' war stories, and that is you tell war stories about the adventures of others that you observe. And many of his war stories are about him, and he became a part of the story. That being said, the majority of my time in New Orleans, when we were not actually giving orders or supervising orders, was going around telling the American people that breaking news that they had heard, that had been reported on national television, was not true, such as someone blew the levee, that we had snipers operating, that there was rape and murder happening in the Superdome and the Convention Center. So breaking news sometimes broke without being corroborated by other sources.
There was a lot of misinformation. I think still to this day, folks don't fully understand what happened with the levees. You know, that there was real problems with the levees, and this was in some ways a man-made disaster. There's still misunderstanding. We should give Brian Williams credit, shouldn't we? That he was there, that he was in New Orleans for this story.
Absolutely. Well, I'll tell you what, he beat me to the storm.
What would you like to hear him answer?
He was in New Orleans before I got there.
Right.
I would like for him to just verify that, if he was a newsman and he saw a body floating by his hotel, why didn't he go grab it? Why didn't he get somebody and reported it? So we can immediately remove those remains. Right, grab a camera. Either report it, which you're supposed to do, or as a human being, go out and try to assist that person or to get somebody to pull them. The other thing is the gangs. There were a lot of reports, and one of his reports was about gangs. That amount of violence that was reported in New Orleans, you would think the city was under siege. While there were some reports, some shootings happened, much of that has been exaggerated and has been confirmed by not only local reporters, but reporters from other parts of the country.
Lieutenant General, thank you for joining me here.
Good day.